Hello there, and welcome to the second episode of CancerFace, which is an account really of mine and Nubbins' adventures in Cancerland and the land of cancer care. Just a reminder, this second episode, I think I described last week how I was diagnosed a few months ago now with bladder cancer. Which is being looked after at Scarborough Hospital. But more recently, I've been diagnosed as having cancer of somewhere between there and there. It's under the ear, nose and throat department, being investigated currently at James Cook. So since last week's episode, I've been for what they call a PET scan. A PET scan at James Cook. A PET scan is a scan where they basically take pictures in segments of more or less your entire body. And I think it's the scan that you get when you've got cancer in at least two places. And this is the scan that should reveal how widespread the cancer is. Officially, the line is currently that there's a bladder cancer and there's a throat cancer, and they're completely separate phenomena. That's the official line from the medics. I'm not sure if I believe that, or if that's very believable. But the whole point of having the PET scan is to see where else lights up and how widespread the cancer is. So it's a pretty serious test. It was a little bit weird. You go to the hospital and then you have to have this radioactive dye, which they inject into you, and then you have to sit for an hour before the scan while this dye works its way around. And it's a bit weird because it's a privatised service, and they are obviously in some senses very hot on customer care. You have the radioactive dye injection in a kind of cubicle. It's about the size of a smallish bathroom. And the staff are very good and they're very attentive. And during this hour, while you have to sit in this room alone, while the dye gets around your system, they're asking you, do you want your chair back or forwards? This is where the temperature dies. This is how you can switch the fan off, etc. Whilst you sit for this hour. But what you don't have any choice of at all, remarkably, is that you have to sit for an hour listening to Heart FM radio station. And that just seemed a bit weird and not very pleasant, really, to be sat listening to crass adverts and bad 80s pop tunes. The assumption must be somewhere in this privatised agency that some people may want to lie down, some people may want to set up, some people might want to be a bit cooler, some people might want to be a bit warmer, but everybody will want to listen to Heart FM. Anyhow, but we got through that, and then we went and had the scan, and you're laid back on the scan. It's not as interesting sound-wise as the MRI scan was. The MRI scan was a bit like being in a kind of futuristic techno concert with all sorts of beeps and buzzes going on. Less noise, but you're laid there for a couple of minutes, and then it moves up a little bit, and you move back a little bit, and it's obviously just taking pictures of the whole body as you move through. And they told me there, this was on the last Monday, today's Monday, so it's a week ago today. And they told me that the results report would be written and sent to my consultant on Wednesday of last week, which is really kind of quite weird when you think about it, because this means that somebody somewhere has written this report, and for all I know, this scan might be a death sentence, or it might be good news, who knows, somewhere in between those two. And there's this person who writes a report and they know, and then they've given the report last Wednesday, and so whoever they sent it to know, probably the medical secretary knows, maybe the consultant who I met twice now, briefly. He knows, maybe a couple of other members of the team. But the person that kind of affects most, I think, is me. And here I am 1 week later, still no wiser as to whether this PET shunt shows whether I've got 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, or indefinitely left to live, which is a bit weird. I presume what will happen is that the MDT meetings where they discuss cases is on a Tuesday. So I'm expecting not to hear anything really until after that meeting, which will be tomorrow. And then maybe they'll get in touch. But what people think, what the medics think I'm doing during this week, just sat wondering, is a bit beyond comprehension, really. I don't know why they do it that way. I don't know why, perhaps the medics think that they need to deliver the information personally. But to be honest, I've worked over 30 years in the NHS, and medics are not, generally don't tend to have the greatest social skills for delivering that kind of information. I can't see why it isn't just online, and I can see, but I'll come to that in a second. But why couldn't it be online? I could just check it out myself. But then I might be, I guess the theory might be then you could find out the information alone. What's that? You're right. No, I wouldn't be alone. You'd be with me too, so that's true. I wouldn't be completely alone. But it's a bit weird. It reflects a little bit of a similar experience with the GP's online system, which is called Patient Access. When I first went to GP a few months ago, I picked up a leaflet and there was this thing, Patient Access, which is whereby you can check your own medical records online. And I thought, well, that'd be good. No harm in looking at what information's been written about me, etc. So I applied. I think I had to show a couple of documents to prove who I was, etc. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I got an email saying you can now access Patient Access online. So I had a look, but all it was there, all I could see was a list of my medications and a list of allergies. So not a lot of new information there, really. For me, I knew what medication we're taking, and I told them about my allergies. So then I was going and checked with them, and they said, some people, they don't like to look at their own medical records, so you have to go through a separate application to get the full records. So I thought, all right, okay, fair enough. And I went, so I filled out another form. I had to take my passport, my driving licence, and proof of address once again, which they photocopied. And eventually, again, a couple of weeks after that, I found, okay, I can now access my medical records. Now, there's a kind of a menu down the left of your medical records when you access it. So as well as now medications and allergies, I also now had problems, test results, consultations, and immunisations. So I could look at those, and that was quite helpful actually, certainly in terms of picking up on some anemia that one of the tests had shown. But again, interestingly, the key one I want to see in my situation was documents, because I want to see the letters. I think they're meant to be sent to me anyway, actually, but the letters that the cancer teams are sending to the GP about what's going on. And that was missing. And I checked on the sample menu that they show, and documents was there. So I wrote to them and said, the whole point for me is to be able to see the documents. Could you please enable this? And last time I went to see my GP, which I think was the time when he made the referral to James Cook, so I was already being treated for the bladder cancer. He said, I see you've written asking for full access to your medical records. I've got no problems with that at all. That will be fine. There is one thing, which is that we'll have to just check for any third-party information that might be contained in some of the documents. before we can allow you access. And I thought, well, that's fair enough at the time, but then thinking about afterwards, and my son said this actually the other day, what third-party information is going to be in letters to the GP from my consultant about me? Is it going to be kind of, this is what my son Bill said, is it going to be, well, you know, his scan's a bit like Roger Johnson's, who we saw a week last Tuesday with neurosurgery, who had a similar lump, etc., etc. So I can't quite see what it's going to be, and that was at least 3 weeks ago. And I checked this morning, I still can't access documents. So what that shows, I think, is how dripping with ambivalence the medical profession is about actually sharing information with patients. On the one hand, they'll say, yes, this is fine, but we're open. But in practice, there are some obstacles in the way. So that's probably it for today. What I shall do next is probably do another little short one this coming weekend, when we will have the results, I would hope, of the PET scan. So I might be a bit more gloomy then, or I might be a bit more cheerful, or we might be the same, and so for Nubsy, you might be a bit more lively, or it might be a bit more depressed, who knows, we'll see. So I look forward to seeing you for episode 3. Bye-bye. Okay, Nubsa, let's switch off.